The 4 reasons people become a public adjuster. These are the reasons. That's right. Money's the number one reason. Wouldn't we know it? Money's the number one reason. Let's talk a little bit about money. We have two here, but we actually there's three altogether. I'll talk about the third one just at the end. Fee cap states. That means that there's an actual fee that they're saying that there's a cap that you can charge, how much percentage you can charge on a particular claim. On average, for fee cap states, it's about 10, sometimes 12.5, and believe it or not, we even have one that's only 3 something in Delaware, which is ridiculous. Thanks to NAPIA, which I won't go into there. And the second one is called non-fee cap states. And believe it or not, there are more non-fee cap states in the United States than there are fee cap states. In a non-fee cap state, we have a rule though that says do no harm. That means you have to look at it like you're being a doctor. And how what the doctor do? You want to make sure we're taking care of the patient without harming the patient. And in order to do that, that means we have to get every single thing that the client needs and still cover our fee, which we can show you how to do that really easily. And I'll talk about the percentage on that in just a minute. The last one, which I was telling you about, was the oddball, and that's actually Louisiana. Louisiana, you can't charge a percentage or a fee. You actually have to do it by an hourly wage, and we have a way to actually show you how you can do that. So it's almost identical to what we can do in a non fee cap state. Okay, now back to fee cap states. Let's talk about a particular claim. Now we're going to be talking about a small claim. Now that's 10% no matter, we're talking about this average of 10%, and we're going to say that we're talking about just a little $10,000 claim. You say, well, $10,000, that's not a lot of money. Go out and get an estimate on work that you want to do for rehabbing of your house in someplace, your kitchen or your bathroom, or everything else. I mean, you could have a small little dinky little bathroom. They'll still charge you about 10 grand. So $10,000 is not a lot of money whatsoever. So let's talk about a small little $10,000 claim, and the average of about 10% for a cap, and that's going to take you about 4 hours to complete. You'll have made $1,000. Now that's not too bad. That means per hour you're making $250 per hour. Like even in a fee cap state, it's still quite profitable, especially if you can be showing yourself doing consistent work every single day, which we can show you how to do. Not a problem. There's more than enough work out there to be able to do that. Okay. Now let's talk about non-cap state. That means that there's no cap on it, and but we always do things so we do no harm, just like you would do like a doctor, like I was talking about before, making sure that whatever happens, that you're not doing any harm, and we can do that at 25% on small claims, and that's going to be somewhere between 5 to 35,000. So when it starts getting over 35, there's always a possibility that you're going to start seeing contents. Contents are done at actual cash value. That's replacement costs minus depreciation. That means that it's going to be harder for us to guarantee the client apples for apples at that point. Now, what we need to do is we need to be able to make sure that we are doing that at a lower rate. That's why you'll see larger claims like fires and large floods and things like that done at 10%. But for a small claim, we can guarantee that easily at 25 or 20%, no problem. And we'll show you how to do that in our association. And remember, that's again for the 4 hours, and we're only talking about a $10,000 claim. But for that same 4 hours, you've just made $2,500. That's right, 2,500. That's actually $625 an hour. That's pretty good. At least I think it is. And how many of those claims do you need in a week to actually make it a pretty darn good week? Okay. And so if you're only doing one per week, you're kind of lazy, but heck, why not? You can have time and money. That's what we always say here. So that's a pretty good reason for wanting to become a public adjuster. Reason number two, contractors. Contractors are great, and I'm talking about there are just a lot of different type of contractors. You gotta love contractors. Contractors are really a big part of the people who want to become public adjusters in this world. First one is that we have what we call storm contractors. Now, I know it's got another name, but I'm not about to sit there because I like these guys. For the most part, they're all good guys. There are some exceptions out there, but in general, these kind of guys are just go-getters. They're going out there, they're helping people that a lot lot of times don't even know they got any problems. And you know what? There's a lot of new laws out there that are trying to affect these people. I mean, in Colorado, heck, they just put in a law that actually says they can't even solicit the way they used to. And they're not allowed to represent the claim to the insurance adjuster anymore. I mean, I'm a public adjuster, and yeah, I like to protect my own industry, but I'm telling you that at least there was somebody out there, because a lot of times we don't have enough public adjusters. But I'm trying to tell you that the contractors love, because we can really help them in the challenges they're going through right now, and they are basically learning really how to do it properly. I mean, a lot of times I'll talk to these guys and go, "Oh, I've been doing this for a long time," and they really, when I ask them two or three questions, they're like clueless. They really don't know every single thing that they need to know. Formally trained, I mean, they kind of know a little bit their area, and they have some successes, so therefore they think they have it all down pat. It's not the case, but a lot of them are starting to learn that they need to have that license and they need to become a public adjuster to really take control. And we show them how to do this, because it's not, a lot of times, there's certain laws that says, you can't have one company and the other company, it's because a lot of these companies are family run. It's real easy to be able to get around the law so that it's properly taken care of. You're not violating the law, but at the same time you're getting everything single done so that you can get both scenarios running legally. And then you got everyday contractors, plumbers. I mean, plumbers see at least 2 to 3 claims every single week, minimum, just because of the yellow page ads. So plumbers and other kinds of contractors, everything from heating and air conditioning to chimney sweeps, you name it. There's practically almost not a contractor out there that doesn't come in contact with claims consistently, that they can be making a lot more money and doing more services for their homeowners. And then, a lot of these guys are looking for marketing, because it's really hard for them to market themselves without spending a lot of money, especially the everyday contractors. And we show them how to find all the work they would ever want to have. In fact, contractors who are smart always connect themselves with a public adjuster. It's definitely pays off big time for them. We are designed for this economy. That means that for all the crazy things that happen, we're just definitely designed for this particular age. And I'm going to go over the reasons for it that you're just going to love. Let's start with the first one on the list. Recession proof. That means I don't care if somebody wants to do their kitchen over, they want to do the bathroom over, they want to do a new roof, they want to put a new siding, whatever it is, I don't care about that. I don't care if somebody wants to buy and sell a house. I don't care about that. Those type of things are economically driven. What we make money on is when things go wrong, and that has nothing to do with the economy. That has everything to do with Mr. and Mrs. Murphy. So that means that we keep making money even if something else is not happening in the economy. And let me give you an example. If I have 500,000 homes in any particular area, I'm going to be guaranteed by an actuary. They're going to say that they're going to naturally across the country, it's on average between 60 and 65 hot water heaters are going to burst in that area and damage a house somewhere between $5,000 to $25,000. What that means is that especially at a non-cap state, that we have really nice flow of business consistently happening. All we need to do is get in the way of that business that's going to come through. We show you how to do that. It has a flow pattern, and we show you how to get in the middle of that, so it's actually coming at you. So that doesn't make a difference. Recession proof doesn't make a difference to me. I'm going to make money. Now, if inflation is your concern, which it should be, considering that the government's putting in $3 billion a day into the monetary system, and they're not even buying bonds. I don't even talk about that. Get off my soapbox. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. Now, what's happening with that is that if you haven't noticed, the price of milk and price of gasoline have always been racing against each other, and the price of things keep on rising. Well, that shouldn't bother you as a public adjuster, and let me tell you why. Well, the reason is because we make money on a percentage basis. I haven't already told you about that. And that means that as the prices of things rise, so does your income as a public adjuster. Isn't that cool? I think that's awesome. Because other people are sitting there going, concerned about this inflation, what's happening with that? And you're sitting there as a public adjuster going, yeah, okay. Now, the other thing that's really important is that there's not enough public adjusters. And let me explain to you a little bit about that. There are more public adjusters right now. I mean, there are more CPAs right now within 15 minutes of Philadelphia than there are public adjusters all around the country. Well, that's amazing. If you think about it, that most people don't even need a CPA, but practically everybody who owns a home, at least within a 6-year period, are going to need at least a public adjuster once if they're really knowing what they're doing. And we work with the system that we teach you. Now, I could put 250,000 new public adjusters in the system today in the United States, and there will just be barely handling the capacity of the business that's available. Just barely being able to have some control over it. 250,000 of them. 250,000 new public adjusters could be in the business today, and you could be one of them. And here's something else that's really something that it's easy to create a firm. What does that mean? Well, you've seen people who are realtors, right? Yeah, and they kind of puff around, they walk, I'm a realtor, I'm a realtor. Well, that's nice. And we make a lot more money than realtors do, and we have more consistency and more flow and less hassle than a realtor does. But realtors then want to become brokers, which then have agents underneath them, and they override the agents just in that format. And that's the way we develop firms. And we teach you, and we're big on creating firms. That's what we want to do. I don't want to teach you how to work for somebody else as a public adjuster. I want to teach you how to own your own firm. Because see, when you make money, when you work, but you don't make money when you don't work. Well, how would you like to be able to make money even when you're not working? That's what having a firm is all about. And that's having a firm control of your income and your income all throughout your history of your work life. And past that, because you can still make money even when you're not working. Need to help people. Really, this is a very close thing to my heart, is needing to help people. Um, I always tell people I'm basically a non-politically correct born-again Christian, that what we're here for is to kind of live out our faith in the process of changing not only the lives of people we help become in the business, but all those people that they're going to help, and making sure that they get properly covered. Because I've seen devastation done by the insurance companies, and I just know that it's amazing when you can hand a check to somebody that they were denied, or they were told some stupid number and it was nowhere near what they needed. Really, the need to help people. Man, there are people out there that are just crusaders. They see things that happen and they want to jump in and they want to make sure that they're in there to take care of the wrong that's happening. And I love crusaders. I'm one of them, and I'll tell you, crusaders are a big thing. You hate insurance companies for what they're doing to people. I mean, I was down at Katrina with my family, and I saw what was happening. And people think, oh, it's only these major big events. No, it happens every single day. People are being robbed, stealed. They steal everything that they should have been receiving. They just don't get enough to properly make them whole again. Maybe you're even one of those people, and this happens a lot, where people have been screwed by themselves and by the insurance company, and they just get mad, and they see this other public adjuster, and they see, hey, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. I want to get back at these people, and I want to make sure that they pay, and not only that I make enough money back from helping other people, but I want to make sure that those people are protected through this, that this doesn't happen to another person. And that's what happens. That's what goes in me. I mean, wow, I can help people and get paid. And I'm not a social worker, who gets paid nothing. And usually social workers aren't the greatest thing because they got to follow certain kind of rules. We don't follow those rules. We follow the contract, and we make money for that people, and we make sure they get every single thing that they're due, and we still cover our fee. That is an awesome way to live. Now I want to get serious here. Your first step is to go to www.adjustingschool.com. I'll say it again, www.adjustingschool.com. Now, look at our history video, which goes with the history of everything about public adjusting, and the different aspects of different types of adjusting, because a lot of people hear about, CAT adjusters and in-house adjusters and IAs and all. There's tons of little things, and they don't know really what each different group's about.